Oh, yeah. Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, coming to bring you some of that boom bap house to the everywhere we go. We going right to your front door. Right here, let me introduce you to my crew as they come through. He goes by the name of Evan. And all day, every day, Renee Johnston. Yeah.
Good morning. What's up, y'all?
Good morning.
Good morning. As we slept the night away. I used to be in the choir, y'all.
You used to be in the choir?
Yeah. Well, I fell asleep, and then they didn't wake me up while they were singing. I was like, really? And then I realized I wasn't that important.
Like, I guess you weren't the soloist if you couldn't.
But how did that work? Y'all didn't like stand up?
Yeah, they stood up and they just let me stay asleep. My mom was downstairs simmering like this motherfucker disrespecting me. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, good old times. How are y'all? Y'all look good. Y'all look hydrated. Well, Evan.
There you go.
I mean,
but why you have to start with y'all look? You know, if you start with y'all look good, it's gonna be a joke because you can't see me.
I really didn't mean to. It's just I'm used to being on screen with people faces.
Yeah, I mean, it's now been like a year of this, so
right?
You should be used to.
So moving forward.
I can't, bro.
Evan, I like the shirt you got on, man.
Thanks. I was gonna go for a little matchy thing, but you didn't get the
buttons. Okay. It looked like one of those damn, let me get the right word before I hurt somebody feeling. It looked like this Asiatic.
It's a Henley top. There we go. Let's just avoid any other. I'm gonna stop you right there.
I don't even. Is that a word that he just used? Like Asiatic for a shirt?
I was just worried that it was going to continue.
Oh,
I didn't want him to. I'm trying to help my brother early.
Yo, appreciate it. Thank you, Stephen. Great marathon stream yesterday. Yes, I appreciate it. We had a good time.
Is it Stephen or Steven? Is it Stephen or I always read it as Steven.
I understood it to be Steven.
Mm-hmm.
But
we're gonna find out.
I mean, it do got a pen in it. Stephen, Stephen.
Yeah, but sometimes it's pronounced. We're gonna find out. They're gonna let us know.
Yeah, so
I mean, I've actually been on. World. I've been on calls with him. It's actually really is Steven.
It's Steven.
Just try to be nice about it.
These Europeans.
Nice. Oh, look, he confirmed. I feel bad.
Yeah, these Europeans and they name games, boy. I tell you.
Yes.
The hell a PH supposed to be pronounced as an F? Then it's not.
But
I'm confused.
Okay.
It's
like pharmacy. Anyway, how are you doing today, Evan?
I'm doing okay. I woke up, grateful for another day. All the good things. Shout out to my sister-in-law for her birthday weekend that I was able to participate in. So shout out to her.
Happy belated.
Yeah.
You get white boy wasted?
No, I did not.
That was a quick no.
I was like, that's an easy no.
Oh, what is she? Anyway.
I had a good time, but we're never white boy anything.
How you doing, Renee? How was that show Saturday? I didn't get to see it. I was working.
You always working.
I better
You
be.
work
Shit,
hard on
these
the
bills.
weekends.
That's
Listen.
Bills. 9 to 5 like Dolly Parton.
The show is actually really good. We were joined by Evan and Isam, and it turned into a really good conversation about how the crazy experiences on college campuses can get. And then we continued that yesterday with Evan.
What, at
I don't
Brown?
know. No, actually, I think we spent more time yesterday talking about
Berkeley.
Berkeley than
Oh,
we
okay.
did Brown.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's it was an interesting conversation, and I ended up going back and listening to like bits, and I hate listening to myself, so I don't go back to the show, but I got yelled at for that, so apparently I have to start doing it.
No, same. I feel the same way, Renee. I literally only re-listen to it if I'm listening to it with my partner or like somebody else. But I feel the same way. But it was dope. I had a fun time, and it was like it was like I did a little mini marathon with Renee and Jared, so that was cool. We just kept doing like a little hour together. So yeah, I had a good time with those conversations. It was really cool.
I went to a PWI for like a class. I think it was less than a semester. It was too cold. AC worked great. I couldn't do it. I was in there freezing, and everybody. I was the only black person in the class. I was like, "This is not going to work." I cannot concentrate when it's too cold. No, Jack.
I have to say that is the wildest reason for not liking the class I think I've ever heard. But
it was freezing. How do you concentrate? Like my worst
I
fear
don't
of
know,
death
a hoodie?
is that didn't help. Like my worst fear of death is to freeze to death. And big up to Monty who rocked out with me yesterday. Yeah.
Oh,
And
Monty,
y'all.
shout out to Monty.
We gotta get Monty to set her alarm more often. I think this has to be the new conversation. I'm gonna work on it.
That's gonna be your job.
She's close. I feel like. Money in the chat. Oh man. But yeah, Ear Doctor, you could wear a hoodie, and also when the class is too hot, people fall asleep. I know I fall asleep.
I know I do.
That's the
But I went to Morris Brown with the AC. Sometimes we always had the window open, and hopefully a breeze could come through. But guess what? For real today, we got a guest host. This is no clickbait, as Renee was saying. We got a guest host coming through. So yeah, it was a good night that night when I got that text. I just forgot what day it was. But y'all ready for Labor Day weekend? This weekend is going to be crazy in Atlanta. I tell you right now. You got the House in the Park. I think it's Pride weekend. It's I don't think y'all understand. House in the Park is like 4 different house DJs and a whole nother tent and area for a disco stage. It's gonna be crazy. I got like 3 parties I gotta do this weekend. It's gonna be it's gonna be litty in the city. My homeboy turned 55. I just did my homeboy's 50th birthday this Friday. Yo, all my people turning 50. This is wild. Even Renee.
Honestly, it's a blessing, right? We're always covering stories where people get to, are taken too early. So, very glad that your friends are making it there. And, of course, you're DJing all the parties. So,
And we looking good, man. We looking good for our age, I must say.
Renee is looking excellent for her age.
Yeah, Renee definitely she likes about 38. She could pass.
I'll take it.
Her mom's passing for a big sister.
It is pretty ridiculous though, because my mother really does not look her age, and so I put it on purely genes, like it's just genetic, I think. But I don't know. I was told multiple times that the reason I don't care about being 50 is because I literally don't look 50, and I think that's probably in part accurate. Like, it's fun to tell people you're 50 when you don't look 50 because people just give you the face. Like, nah.
It is.
So,
I'm telling you, that's why every time I go out on the basketball court, I say I'm 50. I'll be like, man, come on, man. You gonna let a 50-year-old out hustle you? I did beat my son again this weekend. We played ball, so yeah.
You gotta like film like a full game so we could get like, you know, a whole like highlight reel, whole, you know, the whole thing. We'll do that. We'll do that when I come down there for
coming. I got different requests. I got to do that, and I got to set up cooking. I got to show Jackie how to make my barbecue tofu. So it's on the popping.
And our sparring session. Don't forget. Don't leave that off.
Definitely. I'm gonna whip you. Ooh. Listen, I was watching some UFC this weekend too. Some bare knuckle. I ain't saying I'm a bare knuckle box you, but just the technique and the sweet science of it, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah, it is a sweet science.
Bare knuckle is tricky because you can easily break the hands in your You can easily break the bones in your hand when you bare knuckle, so it's actually more dangerous for your hands, right? You have to like actually pick your shots, but that's fine. We're gonna, you know, you let me know what we want to do. Boxing, we want to do kickboxing, we want to do Muay Thai. You let me know.
Kickboxing.
You want to do kickboxing?
Yeah, that's what I'm used to.
So punches, kicks, knees.
Yeah.
Awesome. Y'all heard it, chat.
Damn, Evan gonna fuck me up.
Listen, every time y'all talk about boxing and fighting, I'd be like, why is Ear Doctor signing up for this? I don't understand what's happening.
Evan can't wait to fuck me up. I can see you like, oh yeah, okay. Whatever you want to do, my friend. Whatever you want to do. Wow, he gonna just wrap me up with his gi and just tie it around my neck and just like, you give up yet? I can see it. Damn, Evan, I don't know now, man.
We'll figure it out, your doctor.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I bet. I bet you can't beat me running. Trust to believe. I'll punch the shit out of you and run. You can't catch me. Shit.
You know, that came up during our pre-show chat. Your doctor.
I don't understand why people be so scared of big people, man. I'll be like, yo, punch them and jet. They cannot outrun you. Anyway. All right. Well, I guess we got a great show. I know we got a great show coming up. I guess we could go ahead and get into our first break, and then we can come back with some news and things like that. We got special guests at the top of the hour, so let's get into it right here on no other than, what is this?
The Remix Morning Show.
You better believe it. Yeah. What's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome out. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com. Become a member over there. Get footage that's rare. And donate where? At blkliberationmedia.org. Show your love. Go get you some merch. Rock out and get you some fly gear like this kid right here. Stop playing. And you get your Remix Morning shirt, too. All right. With that said, let's get to it. Let me give you a quick weather rundown. Let's start in the ATL today. We got a high of 94 degrees. Yes, 94 degrees. Nice and John Blaze. But guess what? Also DC. DC is going to be 94. High. Crazy. Chicago, we got a high today of 89 degrees. Next, let's take it down to Houston. Houston has a high of 86 degrees today. Going down to Jamaica, where my girl Renee from, in the yard. Yes, it's going to be 89 degrees. And last but not least, let's take you to Fada, Chad. Yes, Fada, Chad, where it's going to be 103 degrees. Now, that is hot, John Blaze. But I'll tell you what else is hot and who was hot. About 12 women. Yes, about 12 women that got scammed out of money by this dude, Dejan Love. He was arrested. 35-year-old had a romantic relationship with over 12 dozen women and scammed them out of money. I think it was for like 1.3 million. Yo, this dude was wilding. Straight up had pictures and even got Google to fake the search. So when you pulled up his name, it came out on some man, you talking about heated. I know these sisters was heated at this guy. Wow, what a life. We talking about all my scamming. Yeah, it's really coming to life. All right, with that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. All my scamming.
Did was it a dozen or was it 12 dozen?
It was a dozen. 12 dozen. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, I know. That's why.
Well, that's what you said, and so I was like,
is
that what you meant?
There's been a lot of women, boy.
I just wanted to keep it straight. I was like, this is shit.
Thank you for correcting me there.
Just to clarify.
No problem. Yeah. That's some wild shit right there, yo.
That's a lot of scamming.
It is, but people be watching too much. So this is my issue with reality TV, because there's all these shows that are about people who do this, who scam other people. This is like a thing. Like, it's a real thing. There's a ton of people, like, this is how they live. By scamming other. I don't know. And I guess it's just, sometimes I wonder if it's just me who looks at stuff like this and be like, why would you do this to somebody?
Oh no, I mean it's awful. And it's predictable when you have an economy that operates the way ours does. And the job market is so terrible, right? Like, people, who have malicious intent, not to take that away from them, but like, more our people are exposed to, and really talking about the people who are victimized by this. But
I'm trying to understand how it's not John. So John's asking if it's a scam for real, and if you're telling people that you're not who you are, that you're something that you're not, and you're using the lies to get people to give you money, and then you use the money that they give you to feed your lies to other people. Yes. Yes, it's a scam, because that's how this works.
Yeah, he was getting investment money, and he was sharing it with his 18-year-old kid that they had a business, and he was putting it right into his pocket. So yeah, definitely scammed him.
And just to the point of like the media and entertainment industry that's built around this, right? Because remember, that's important too. Like, there's a whole ecosystem of people who care nothing about the victims of this, like, scamming behavior, right? But like, make a lot of money off of it for reality television. And important to note that even if this is happening at a higher rate at this particular moment, the entities that steal the most from people vis-a-vis companies, via wage theft, like, that is never going to get the commiserate amount of reality TV shows or the commiserate amount of like entertainment or news spotlight. So it's also important to keep that in mind too, right? Like, this, the way in which this is covered and the way in which like scamming in general is covered, right, makes it seem as probably more of an epidemic, right, or more of a consequential thing than these companies committing wage theft, right, which is the largest amount of theft that happens in our society.
Yeah, and the girl Carisha that did that scamming song did a couple remixes, and one of them is an international one, and she had a Nigerian come on and start saying, "Where all my Nigerian scammers at?" It's like, damn, that's so real.
It's messed up, man. It's messed up because it's like it's messed up because they're always scamming working class people. Like, it's never like some billionaire is getting scammed. Take their money.
I mean, the other city girl, JT, that's why she was in jail for scamming. So,
but this is. I mean, I saw a report the other day. Some woman who had been reporting, like, her whole Instagram was about going through PT school at Duke, and she wasn't enrolled as a student at Duke, and it took like 2 years before anybody figured it out. And I didn't mean to snap about the scam thing. Apparently, people don't know the story, and I don't actually even know the story. I just know that this whole, like, using fake, like fake profiles to get people to give you stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like. There is so much shit that you have to deal with as a regular working person, and this idea that people do this so that they can like up themselves while completely destroying the lives of like regular people.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Oh, thanks, Lee. I didn't know. I missed Friday, so I didn't know. But if either of you know the actual like the full story about this, dude, like you pulled it up, Air Doctor, but I don't know if we have an article or a full story for people who don't know what happened.
Well, let's go ahead and hit the news thing, and y'all can go ahead and we can pull up whatever we need to pull up and make sure we on point with it right here on No Other Than the Remix Morning Show.
So I actually did find that original link was just kind of like the highlights, but I did find something that should give us a little bit more information.
All right. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe while y'all out there, and tell a friend this is where they need to be. All right, where we at?
So this is a press release from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Oregon. It says man posing as San Francisco's 49er charged with defrauding over 24 women out of more than 1.3 million. So that's more than double what we thought initially.
So that is 24?
Yes.
Which is?
So that's what I said?
No,
you said 12.
Oh.
Which is 144 people.
Oh, all right. 144 chosen?
As opposed to 24, which is, yes. Yeah, so two men have been charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Dejan Lebraye, Love, 35, and Taylor Jamie Chan, 18, have been charged by criminal complaint in Portland, Oregon. According to, it's interesting, Taylor is much younger. I'm curious.
18, you're also saying 18.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wait, is that the son though? That Air Doctor mentioned?
Maybe that would make sense. According to court documents beginning in February 2022, Love and Chan created fictitious investments to defraud numerous women in Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and California. Love met most of the women on the internet through dating apps. Chan falsely posed as Love's financial advisor to further gain their victims' trust and demonstrate the validity of the investments. Love and Chan solicited money from the women through lies and misrepresentations. The scheme lasted until the day of Love and Chan's arrests on August 24th, 2026. The scheme relied on Love's creation of fictitious personas and display of a lavish lifestyle, which Love presented to victims both in person and on social media websites. Love falsely portrayed himself as legitimately wealthy, often as an NFL player for the San Francisco 49ers or as a wealthy real estate investor. You can see his social media here where he's, pushing that image.
I mean, it sounds like the Invest Fest, but.
So not even being funny.
No.
How did he convince people that he was on a football team that he public information? How did that he do that?
He was able to also work something through Google where you pull up his information, it will come up.
I did hear about that, about him changing.
Yeah, but you didn't just go to the team website and look at the roster?
Ain't nobody doing all that.
Oh, who's not doing all of that? I would do all of that.
if you was investing money, right?
Hell yes. Like you're not getting a dime.
Yo, but when you pull up in a rented ride and it's nice and she just like, yeah, I play, blah blah blah. Like, word.
So this is the stuff, right? Like, I'm not even being funny.
Mm-hmm.
He was driving in a Lamborghini with his helmet in the passenger seat. Can I just I just want to make something clear. You don't take your helmet out of the facility. Like ever. You don't take your helmet out of the facility. Why? Because it's a health risk. They don't know if you do something to it that's going to put you in danger while it's not at the facility. You don't. Oh, Lord. Okay.
I remember my sister got by one of her baby daddies. She walked in the room and the Bible was on the bed, and she was like, "Oh, they ain't never go to church."
Jeez, man. Monty saying he took his helmet to the barbershop. This is crazy. Okay, but here, this element I think is important. Love convinced many of the victims they were in sincere romantic relationships with Love, that he was a sophisticated investor, and that Chan was his investment advisor who helped Love grow a fortune worth tens of millions of dollars. Love had romantic relationships with many of the victims and told them he wanted to build wealth and a future together. Love advertised non-existent investment vehicles and claimed these investments would generate massive returns for both him and his victims. Love also used phone applications to create fictitious bank and investment accounts and balances, which Love showed victims to legitimize the scheme. So this is, creating like false, I don't know what, false evidence or something like that to legitimize, right? Which would encourage somebody not to do the simple thing, probably, of just like going to the 49ers website and, looking this man up. But I think the Love, like that romantic relationship, right, is obviously him, manipulating these women, right? And I think that's like an important part about like why maybe people weren't as investigating the way they maybe were thinking of it right now.
I feel bad for anybody who gets took for money, because so like my phone rings at least 5 times a day to confirm a loan that I never applied for. And so I know, like, it is so easy. Like, my mother's computer somehow was redirected. So every time she opened Chrome, it sent her to one of those sites that said your computer's been hacked. So there are all these things that exist now to confuse people and create these like these spaces where you're just going to lose your money, right? But it's rough, man. I just can't. I feel bad for people, because a woman who ends up in this situation, in my opinion, is like excited to be with somebody who can give her this lavish lifestyle that the world has convinced us we have to have in order to be happy, right? And so people are chasing like this dream, this quote unquote American ideal of like the fabulous and rich and fantastic lifestyle. And it's just not like, if people could be happy just like having what they need, and then if we lived in a place where people could just get what they need, these types of things couldn't happen.
That place sound like where Papa Smurf and Smurfette live at. Hey, A-Rob says some more information. Dijon Love has been outed as DMing minors and telling them he's 21. He is in his 30s. He's a predator on many levels. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's gross just on its face, but then also this plays into like what we're talking about, right? About like he's not just becoming romantically entangled with these women and apparently minors, children, right? But also, right, like you're preying upon children, right, who have not had experiences or would not have potentially would not have the experiences to know that that you're scamming them, or to check or double check certain things, right, or see a bank account and think it's real or can't be faked or things like that. So yeah, this dude's obviously
here's something that's big that we kind of just went over. The fact that you can get into Google and give them false information, and then people look it up and that's looked at as real. Like, how much more this is happening with Google? And right now, when we talk to our kids and stuff like this is their library. This is their encyclopedia. So they're going here for information. And the fact that this dude was able to put false information up there is crazy.
So I'm not sure if it was Google or if it was Wikipedia. I don't know if it doesn't say it in this press release, but you can on a Wikipedia page, right? Like, and it you can go on there
because it's all self-monitored Wikipedia, but also for Google, not even being funny, but you can put whatever you want in like the information that pulls up on Google for a page, and if you flood Google with that information, then that's what comes up first.
Wow.
Like that's just how it works. But exactly, flooding the search engine. That's exactly that. And so when so like I tell people all the time, like, use the Google when you do your first search and things come up. But the one thing I'll give the Google AI credit for is it resources everything. So when it gives you like a piece of information in the bullet point list that comes after whatever it summarizes, it actually links you to the thing to confirm what the bullet point says. So I always tell people, like, use the Google for the initial search, but then follow the links that the Google sends you to and confirm that the information you're reviewing is actually what it's supposed to be telling you, because it's also AI. So who knows what one point line it pulled from the data that may or may not be actually what you're trying to confirm. So part of this also is like, it's laziness, right? Like, not for nothing. It, like, if you're just going with like the bare minimum of things, I would never give anybody money without being sure where that money is going.
Yeah.
And so
I got by somebody posing to be Wells Fargo. So, and then Wells Fargo comes out with a commercial afterwards, like, what I think it was like Count Dracula or somebody. It's like, don't let people call you talking about, why is your Cash App like this? And then you go over there and try to fix it, and they get your bank information. I was like, now y'all come out with this shit after these motherfuckers done got me. I guess they just flooded calling everybody and just trying to do this scheme, and it was getting a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's often the only time a bank or something like that or financial institution would make a commercial like that, is because they know so many people have already been victimized by that.
They don't want to be liable, because I was like, where my money at? They was like, well, you got. I was like, that's a bitch.
And that's exactly what it is, right? Like, these banks really don't want to be liable for any of this. Just one last piece of information from the story I do want to share is that some victims also loan Love large amounts of money. If victims did not have cash to invest, Love sometimes instructed them to take out personal loans. In both scenarios, Love assured the victims they would quickly be repaid. Once victims had no more money to invest, or if they asked too many questions, Love blocked communication with them, but kept their money. Of the victims identified in the interview, none reported receiving any proceeds, returns on their principal, or investment account information after sending Love and Chan money. Financial records show that Love and Chan received about $1.3 million from victims and from victim investors. 26 victims have been identified, but the FBI believes there are many more victims. So if it was just 24, that's like 50. That's like a little over 54,000 per person. I mean, a little bit less with 26. If it's more, who knows? But these are large amounts of money. Or this is large amounts of money that were taken from each individual. Just wanted to kind of highlight that. This other piece about kind of also encouraging them to take personal loans, which is another level of this guy. These people are crooks, but yeah, man. I think, yeah, and just want to highlight, like, there's the way in which capitalism, separates us as individuals, right, and makes us into these little commodities, right, with our little brands and all this other stuff, right, that plays into this. Loneliness plays into this. The job market, right, and people's financial prospects plays into this, right. The capitalist culture that makes people want to have or want to date an NBA player, an NFL player, have this lavish lifestyle plays into this, right. So there's a lot of like societal dynamics that are directly attributable to capitalism that we should also call out related to this. And I don't want to I think the way the state is going to narrate this and news is just like, oh, this is these individual bad actors, but obviously we know that it's much deeper than that.
Oh man! All right, what else we got?
I mean, Erica laced it. So
yeah,
she did.
As always.
I seen another story, something about a camera being in the jail and sisters that was taking their clothes off was getting the camera. Wait a minute, the footage was getting out, leaking.
A strip search.
Yeah, that's what's that? More
We
flock
can go that
cameras or
next.
something?
No, that's
no.
I'm just saying.
No, but I mean it's an interesting point, right? Because this is really. I'll pull it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of rough stories today. Also, just heads up.
We'll get to Tupac a little later today. Boy.
So here we have 117 women learned that their jail strip searches were recorded. Their outrage changed the law. Survivors hope their advocacy for a bill passed in Colorado can be model for other states after a jail official was accused of viewing strip search videos more than 3,000 times. Two are creeps, man. I don't need to do this. Okay.
I mean, it's like watching porn to them.
To them, yeah. Suzanne Garcia looked down and away from the officer's gaze as she went through the motions of a routine jail intake inspection. Remove all clothing, including underwear. Raise both arms, lift each breast, run fingers through hair, show hands and feet. Turn 180 degrees, bend over and squat. Separate butt cheeks, cough. Thank you. I just want to start because this has been mentioned in a lot of it was just Black August. This has been mentioned in a lot of recounts of political prisoners. But yeah, as Decolonizing it said, strip searches are sexual assault, right? The way that, what do they call it? Routine jail intake inspection, the way that the state that normalizes this behavior with this type of language, like this is sexual assault, right? And this is the routine sexual assault and harassment that people are exposed to when they enter these dungeons. And I think that is an important name. Like we should not just like pass this off as this is normal. So yeah, I did want to say that.
You know what my last paper I did in college was on? You know, what is that called? The big paper you got to end your college with?
Your thesis?
Thesis, yeah. Private prisons. And this just reminds me of how much more crazier it's going to get with more and more of these private prisons coming up where they'll be able to make their own rules and do whatever and then have the film and footage and be able to sell it on the black market to who and whoever.
Well, I got it. This is, I think these are actually happening at publicly owned places. And so, yes, private prisons are definitely a problem. But they also, I think they make up like 5 or 7% of all the like spaces where they hold people. And so I think the bigger problem, yes, like private ownership of a place that puts people behind bars is like a wild, like, how do you even want to own something like that? Mm-hmm. But I think the larger problem is the system itself allows for this, right? So I hopped on with Devon yesterday to finish out his last 30 minutes. And we ended up talking about the strip searching in Baltimore City and how this was part of the DOJ report in 2016 and how they were just strip searching people. And it was like outlandish, like the extent of the amount of strip searches the police department was doing on a regular basis, which made me think of Mani, who came on and talked about the amount of strip searches that Mount Vernon police were doing that got recorded, which makes me wonder, like, how many police departments are participating in this and how many of them are doing it on camera so that they can sell the footage. Like,
I was 19 when I got first strip searched. They just pulled me over for no reason. I had my locks. I had a nice truck, pulled me over, got me in the back, put handcuffs on me, and just went down in my drawers and everything. And you know, at that age, 19, I'm not knowing if any of this is legal, if they're warranted to do that. So that was some wild shit. That strip search ain't nothing to play with.
I'm sorry that happened to you, or doctor. Yeah, man. I mean, they do like they have these they call them like jump out crews here in DC, but like these pigs that'll just run in like an unmarked vehicle, pull up to a you know like a housing project or like just a low income area and just jump out on people and do this BS where they say like show me your waistline. Like they'll just yell that at people. So you as we were talking about before a couple episodes ago, right? The way in which pigs like yell at you or say things that assume they have the right to kind of search you so you don't know, so the people are just like pulling up their shirts or whatever, right? Like in fear, quite honestly, or people saying they're doing doing a search, right, but putting their I don't want to say things on YouTube, right, but like putting their fingers in places they're not, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Sexually harassing people and assaulting people on the street, on the sidewalk. So like there's just like a long history of this, right? And again, just to Renee's point, right? The private prisons are a very small piece of this, right? This is how the state operates. Like I just that is important to note. There's another story later on, right, that also kind of drives this point home, right? But like this is how the state operates. This is a sexual violence, gender-based violence that is endemic to how this capitalist state operates. Full stop, right? And we as Black colonized people, right, have like experienced it and experienced the like I mean the worst of it, right? But like this is yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just trying to convey the point that this is like across the board.
Wow for the night.
Sorry.
Any good stories?
No, we're not even done with this one. This is okay. I'm not.
Go ahead.
No, and I'm sorry, no good stories.
All right,
let's get worse from here. Garcia had been arrested in 2020 and booked at La Plata County Jail in Durango, Colorado. Because of the years-old restraining order that was later dismissed, she remembers asking the female jail officer why she needed a strip search. The response, "This is just what we do in La Plata County," Garcia recalled. It all felt excessive, Garcia told the 19th, but she complied. She had no other choice. "It's cold and it's humiliating," Garcia said. "You just feel like an ant under a microscope. It's terrible."
Yeah.
What Garcia did not know at the time was that her search was recorded by the officer's body-worn camera. She was released from jail and moved on with her life. Then last year, she received an unexpected phone call from a Durango Herald reporter with a shocking revelation. Her video was one of dozens of searches that had been improperly viewed by La Plata County Jail's commander, Edward Abir. We need to start like I need to put these people's faces. Like who is this monster?
Any of y'all ever been to jail?
Only briefly, thankfully.
Same, briefly. It was one night.
Me too. One night only.
But I gotta say, it's enough for me to know I didn't like it.
Oh my God. You remember I was saying I don't like cold? Yo, and they keep it cold in there due to germs.
They do keep it cold in there.
Yeah. It's like a hospital. That shit is oof.
I just want us to know what this predator looks like. Just wants all to be clear.
Oh, which one?
Right. Just this. That's like, I'm not even showing the right.
It's like
this one.
If I had to pick, it'd be hard.
Yeah, right. They're all this one in particular.
Is that who is behind this?
That was the jail's commander that had been improperly viewing them, Edward Abir, whatever. Over the course of 5 years, Abir allegedly logged into the county's evidence database more than 3,000 times and viewed strip search videos of 117 incarcerated women, according to county and state officials. In criminal charges filed last year, authorities said the viewing sometimes happened from hotel rooms and residential addresses. Abir, who has pleaded not guilty, has not spoken publicly about the allegations. His attorney did not respond to an email request for comment. Garcia felt sick when she learned of the allegations, not only because of what victims characterize as an abuse of power, but also because Durango, with less than 20,000 people, is a relatively small community. She knew Abir's family. "His grandson took my daughter to homecoming," Garcia said. Wow. As a former chairwoman of the county's Democratic Party who had previously run for public office, Garcia said she sprang into action. She went to the district attorney's office and started asking what the DA planned to do. When that did not yield satisfactory answers, she reached out to her state representative's office, which connected her with Colorado Coalition Against Sexual Assault. Sorry, I know this is a longer article. I'm trying to get to like the what happened.
Yeah, this is so ugly. And I don't know, yo. This technology shit is crazy. Every other day we doing some story about some new shit.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, right? Like my understanding, what I'm trying to see is because what I don't see in this article is any challenge of like the use of strip searches in general. It seems as though the issue is that they filmed it, right? And I do want to like this is that is not the actual, that is a secondary issue, right? Yeah.
All right.
We can follow up on this later, but yeah.
So we need a break.
No, well, I was sorry. I was somebody in the chat mentioned a massive ICE raid in Memphis, and I was trying to find some information, but because the whole thing just sounds.
It seems really like Memphis crazy. Is like a testing ground for a lot of shit.
Well, it definitely is. It definitely is, and it's Oh, so this okay. I just wanted to make sure that I could find an article that explained, that at least gave some information, because what I was finding initially was witnesses say, people say, and I always get nervous when those are the reports, and so I wanted to make sure that there was something that was very specific. And so
sorry, Renee.
Really? ICE kidnapped 100 people from a club Monday night.
Yep. So ICE arrests 100 people in Memphis raid, immigrant advocates say. So they say it, but there's actually a picture.
Is this the same one when they locked the people in, or is this another story?
This is another story.
God damn.
So they arrested more than 100 people like at a bar. They raided a bar in the middle of the night and just started taking people out. And so I'm trying to make sure that people understand, like, this is not, I mean, we always knew that this was not really about, any like attempt to, public safety and all these things that people keep talking about when ICE arrest people, and then they post, pictures of people, like they may have arrested 50,000 people in one day, and then they'll post a picture of one person who had a quote unquote criminal record and say, like, we got this, this dangerous person off the street. And as this continues happening, people are going to have to decide, like, if they're just going to quietly watch this happen to other people, or if they're actually going to, like, do something. You know what I mean? So you have, now they're spending millions on robot dogs. Ashley, I heard that story too. They're buying up those weird robot dogs, and then they're talking about these gloves that can electrocute, like shock people with the gloves. And so in the end, this whole thing is because the administration promised the private prisons that we talked about that they would house, like, they would fill the beds. So in the end, this is a profit thing, right? So you build this prison facility, whatever we're going to call it, and then the company makes money for housing people in that facility. And so they don't really care about who's in the beds as long as the beds are full.
Yeah.
And so this whole process is just to maintain a high number of people being held in the detention centers, so the people who own and run the detention centers can continue to make a profit, and also free labor, because they're putting people to work as they're being detained in these facilities. And so
wow.
Yeah.
That's why they like changing laws in Texas about herb and stuff, like the laws around herb. Like you get caught with certain amounts, you a felon. Felony charges. Just so they can lock you up and put you in jail.
Right.
This is
And
wow.
and that's not so marijuana has never been legal in Texas. That's actually for hemp that they changed the laws.
That's for hemp?
Yes.
Golly.
Yes, because marijuana was never legalized in the state of Texas. So then people were selling and using hemp.
And that's a whole nother thing.
They changed the law.
Like when you're flying state to state, how does that work when you come to an airport?
It's illegal. It's illegal because the airports themselves are federal property. So people do it, but
all the time. Like they got those sealed packs now that you can't smell, detect nothing.
But it's a risk. Yeah, right. That's what we're hearing. We would never do anything like that on this channel. But it is a risk because those each airport is federal property, right? And just like we were talking about, those what was it? Some law that extended like ports as like extended places where your rights actually don't apply, essentially the rights that we're supposed to have. But yeah, either way, the airports would be federal property anyway, so it's not legal as soon as you enter that area. I just want to close this thing about the strip searches because I did find this piece, which is what I was trying to point out. To better regulate the use of strip searches in Colorado jails, the law established clearer parameters for when incarcerated people can be strip searched. During the intake process, if staff have a reasonable belief that an incarcerated person is concealing contraband, or if a particular scenario has a history of producing contraband. For example, if there is an overdose in the facility. The law also included whistleblower protections to prevent retaliation against jail staff who voiced concerns about potential misconduct, Newman said. She added that the new law is limited to jails in the state and doesn't include prisons because of the budget constraints and limited federal oversight. She said her organization plans to monitor implementation of the law and review the data collected by jails to inform potential legislation for state prisons. And this is really the issue with liberal reform, right? As I said before, right? Like this is not actually challenging the idea of strip searches in of themselves, right? It is trying to quote unquote regulate in a very small way in one state in just the prisons, right? Or just the jails, excuse me. So I just want to, highlight the fact like how minimal the response actually is to what is truly endemic sexual assault and harassment, right? That happens in all prisons and jails across this country and in its colonial territories. At minimum, it's this. It's actually probably much worse. Or we know it's much worse. I'm sorry. That's
And going back and forth with both of these stories, I'm like, yo, these club owners are like, yo, they could just wait till anytime we have a club event and just come and run up, and then mad people be like, oh, I'm not going out. I'm not going to the club no more. Especially like a Haitian club or the Latin clubs. Man, listen, they just be in the parking lot just waiting.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, and this is also part of. I feel like there's a larger plan in place to completely increase the gap between people's ability to survive, and not and just be completely in debt and under the boot of whatever is happening. And so when you have things like this happen, like there are entire communities in New Jersey that are almost shut down because people don't want to have to engage at all with any possibility that they're going to get involved with ICE.
Is Canal Street still up and pumping or no?
That's a good, I mean, they tried to raid Canal Street when this all started. And I feel like the New Yorkers came out and caused a fuss. I'd have to go back and look at the story because it was at the time, it was a big thing because the New Yorkers all came out in the street and was cussing the ICE agents out and all kinds of stuff.
They said it was like a ghost town when the ICE came out there.
And so I will say, these are one of few things. I am not a fan. As everyone knows, I'm not a fan of Mamdani, but they increased the amount of street vendor licenses. Now, I personally feel like you shouldn't need a license to sell stuff. Like, why are we doing licenses? But whatever. So, so I think there is a larger thing happening to create these types of concerns within communities. So you have restaurants and like places that used to thrive because of their immigrant populations that are struggling because people don't want to be out. But this is what they want, right? Like this, in my opinion, is the larger plan. I just wrote. Oh, please.
No, I was just saying, Maldani's like Frank White from King of New York. If a Nick bag gets sold, I want in. So yeah, you're gonna get some money for some license. Y'all trying to get some money out here for me.
It's crazy. But also just real quick, because people were like, wait, it's hemp? It's 100% hemp. So Texas instituted a law that made hemp in all various levels, like felony charges. And then you had all these places that, because marijuana was illegal, they were selling hemp. And so all of these places are now in jeopardy. So they're suing the state because of the ban on the hemp products. And so right now they're waiting for the case to play out because they filed an emergency restraining order to stop the state from banning hemp. And they're waiting for this to play out. But as this is going, it looks like the state has relented on some of the things. And I don't want to get too deep in the woods with it because I just don't have time to really look at everything. But it seems like at a certain, like businesses that were making a certain amount of money are going to be allowed to continue to sell hemp. So again, like it. Yeah.
Welcome to America, y'all. This is the Remix Morning Show right here on Black Liberation Media. And yeah, we're in a big ass Monopoly life. What's another board game that we in? This shit is crazy, yo. Like this is for real on some Matrix shit.
Nah, it's rough. It's rough. And I mean, I think like I said, these stories just highlight the violent colonial situation that we live in, right? That's normalized as like routine strip searches, right? And yeah, it is it's shocking.
Maybe we need a mental health break after all these stories. I think
we got more on the other side, so might as well take a break.
It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a break. This is the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Time for a remix on the remix.
Keep it out while I tell you like this. A fresh little story, be sure you don't miss. It's a scoop for ya. The truth for ya. I can go on for days about this girl named Latoya. I'm Latoya. I'm the block into my side neck. Homeboy DMX. So what the heck? So I fresh girl that I never saw before, but in my heart should be adored and never ignored. It's a guaranteed love that's highly secured.
All right, let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you to the year of 1986. We're talking about what that man them called Just Ice off the album Back to the Old School. The name of that song is Latoya. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there and get footage that's rare. And donate where? At blkliberationmedia.org, as seen at the bottom of the screen. Show your love and tell a friend it's on again. All right, with that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Yeah. What's good? Back at it. You got the Ear Doctor, you got Evan, you got Renee, and our special guest host, FD Signifier. What's good, fam?
Oh,
Oh,
you're muted.
you're muted.
Let's
Wait,
get that.
no, you're not muted.
Let's get them settings set.
Test.
There we go. There we go.
Give me a chance to clean up my dungeon. I usually have a green screen hiding all this shit.
I see.
Now it's just look a mess.
You come to the Remix Morning Show and you like, you know what? I'm a chill.
No, I had to move the green screen. I've been recording this Killer Mike video for like 2 weeks.
Boy. Wow.
So it's in a different part of the crib. And I just haven't reset this space yet. So like this is just like lighting and microphone boxes and shit. So at some point I'm gonna just sneak over here and move some shit out the way. I don't even know what this is. Tape.
You better be careful. Ear Doctor is known to call somebody's background, so
yeah,
there's got to be a app or something that makes me just do a random background.
Yo, I feel sorry for Killer Mike. 2 weeks, god damn.
You know, it's not that. It's partly because I had to record it at night. It's a long story. You'll see. The shit is the whole video is not about Killer Mike, but the whole video is like 3 hours long at this point. I'm gonna see if I can get it down to 2.5, but it might not. It's a long story. I don't know if we want to start with the deep lore about it, but y'all know it. Y'all know all the deep lore shit. Like y'all been here the whole time.
I mean, I know it. Evan, I don't know if Evan knows it.
I've seen a lot of it, but I'm here. I'm
Ear Doctor might know it, but I think it's probably worth you just a quick
Ear Doctor's here in Atlanta, so I run into Killer Mike and everybody all the time. Continue.
Okay, dope. That's that's good. Thankfully I haven't because he low key threatened me last year. And that's it was funny. So I started. It started as a video about Mumia. And I was going to talk about I was going to do something where I was engaging with the concept of the Black Misleadership class, with Mumia being like the counterfactual, right? And I was going to talk about Obama and Booker T. Washington got a whole section, and so Mike was going to be a part of it. And then I started with the whole MOVE event, and I started with Wilson Goode, who was the mayor over
Philly.
Baltimore, Philly, who was the mayor in Philly when the MOVE bombing happened. He was a black mayor. A lot of people, that's something I didn't even know. I knew all about the MOVE. I knew the MOVE bombing happened. I didn't know it happened under a black mayor's watch. And so once I started like putting that story together, et cetera, I was like, oh, we got something here. And then kind of at the last second, I had to take all the Mumia stuff out the video. So that was like the first reset, right? And that's not on any, it wasn't related to any of this other stuff with the letter or whatever. This is well before that. But it was kind of on some like, we want to kind of be ready for when we engage him explicitly, because I did have some like unique interviews. Y'all saw me and Dr. Ball did a couple of months ago. So I had more after that, but we had to save it. So like, okay, now the video shifts. So I was just going to keep it at Black Misleadership in Glen Ford. And I had finished filming it. It was probably going to be about an hour and some change long. It's going to be a normal video. And Killer Mike's section was 20 minutes long. It started as like 45 minutes. But I was like, it's too much. I can't talk about Killer Mike longer than I talk about Barack Obama. That don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So let me just cut everything down. We're going to keep it simple, whatever. The day after I recorded is when that song dropped. And the internet started yelling at me and him at the same time. and then I was like, well, now I got an excuse. And now we got motion on it. So let me just go ahead and say everything I've had to say. Because aside from the stuff that he said about Dr. Ball over the years, because, and I kind of get to this in the video. So he's been drawing at Dr. Ball for years, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I've been amplifying Dr. Ball's work in my content. And before my Kendrick Drake video, what my biggest video ever was a video on Black conservatism. But it was really about Black capitalists and Black moderates, right? It wasn't about like Candace Owens or Clarence Thomas. It was about Jay-Z, Bill Cosby, etc. And so I talked about Killer Mike for like 10 minutes in there.
And that was like, that had 3-point-something million views. And a month after that is when Killer Mike dropped that album, Michael, which had that another sneak diss for Dr. Ball in. I don't know if y'all caught that one.
Wait. So just sorry, Effie. I'm
sorry. I'm going. My bad.
I just want to make sure we're getting the songs correct because when you first said it, I thought you were talking about the freestyle that just came out.
The Cypher with
yes.
T.I.
Before that, on Michael, it is my belief that talking that shit on Michael, on the Michael album, is a sneak diss to Dr. Ball. Because it completely replicates things that Dr. Ball said.
That doctor was like, it was. Because it
was.
I'm a lyricist. I know this
doctor's professional expertise comes in hand. He was like, no.
Oh, yes. I know hip hop disses.
Right. And then to further corroborate that's when, like, the day after he wins the Grammy, he disses Dr. Ball, sneak disses him on the Breakfast Club. So you kind of know that's what it was. Mm-hmm. And so I don't think Mike realized, I think Mike thought that I was just, no shade, like a little YouTuber, like part of the Black Liberation Media Network, etc. Mm-hmm. So when I made my video, I made a video that was very gentle about Mike last August called The Problem with Killer Mike. It was very gentle. Mm-hmm. And it just really glossed over the things that we've all been saying about Mike for years at this point. He goes 2 weeks later, he goes on his own podcast with Charlamagne the God and starts talking that shit. So he starts saying, some out of pocket stuff to me, brings up my wife and kids. I was big mad for a second. I was like, whoa, where did this come from? Because like I'm in Atlanta. So like, do I need to worry about seeing Killer Mike? Because that's what he said. And then I still let it go. And I was like, I'll get to it eventually. And that was going to be, I was still going to kind of keep it cute because it didn't make sense in my head to go further than I initially was. So when this new diss happened, which I'm gonna be real, I think this new diss is still, especially the background information I've learned, this new diss is still more intended for Dr. Ball. But he fucked up in that he broke my containment. And I don't think he understood that low key, he doesn't have access to a platform as big as mine. So like when I say something, it's going to be big enough for him that he's going to hear it. Right. And so it's like, if that's the case, then I need to go ahead. And so the section's like 2 hours long.
So just so we're clear, FD, and welcome. This is my first time, meeting
Thank you, Mr. Same.
Just to be clear, so I hope that means this future thing on Killer Mike is not going to go soft at all. You're going to go ham on him, right?
I'm going to be more explicit. Okay. I'm going to try to be, what's the word I'm going to use? I can't, there's a word I've been saying up until this point where like, I'm very explicit. I'm very clear about like the problems. Mm-hmm. But I have to like manage the vitriol and the smoke because I need it to be received by people. You know what I'm saying? The goal is for people to see this video and see Mike differently from this point, from that point on. That's the ultimate goal. And so if I go in too hard or too scathing, if I try to meet the grams, you know what I'm saying? If I try that route, I'll end up losing the ability for it to be impactful. It's my perception. But no, it will be, it's not, I won't say thorough, but it will be like, there's no denying the problem based on what I've written and wrote and how I plan to present it. That's the goal, at least.
But you like Murder Mook, man. You got to get on your battle rap. This is like an intellectual battle rap right here.
I
always crossed the line. Is my point. Like he's had years. He's had years to have his. First off, he's had years to read the book. This man has not read the book. I don't know why. Like,
right, but he's read Walter E. Williams though.
But that's because
don't read, beloved.
Shout out to. Oh my god, one of the greatest drops. But I'm just like, in all the time that you spent writing these rhymes, rehearsing, recording, you could have just read the book.
Yeah,
that is a accurate. Like can I tell you, like I never even thought of it that way, but how accurate is that? Because it's not even a long book.
It's not a long book.
It is not a hard read. It doesn't take long to get through. Like I read that book in one day. Like it's clear, not. Man. It's not
clear.
But if your brand,
Cuddly Mike, this is what we're talking about. This is the length that we're talking about. That this man cannot.
And nobody reads it. That's the funniest thing.
That's real.
If your brand stands on that, though, you can't.
And that's my point. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go.
It's not a matter of like effort or acumen. It's that my desire is to remain aligned with the politics that pay me and the politics that my peers are connected to. Because that's the thing I'm more interested in is what's going to be happen in the aftermath. Because all these people know me. They all know me. They all know about me. Y'all saw the picture a couple of weeks ago. I have way more like people, like I did not know I had penetrated some of these spaces the way I had until this happened. And, I knew some people I'd had private messages with for a while, but it's clear that this is like, I don't know if they're waiting and they already got their Meet the Grams. You know what I'm saying? On me, like they already planned out how they're gonna destroy me in the aftermath.
They was ready to destroy you when they thought this is best fest.
That's y'all. That's y'all. That's y'all. Renee texted me. It's like 2 days later.
It was like, wait a minute.
Listen, I'm doing my best to hold FD right before a certain line. So I saw the picture. I was like, let me reel this in.
Yeah.
FD.
I want to be clear. I wasn't at Invest Fest.
No, he wasn't.
I got invited to dinner by Van Lathan. And I thought it was just gonna be me, Van, Deontay, and Vic. But it ended up being a bigger like post-Invest Fest thing. And I was like, initially, first off, it's at the gathering spot. You been to the gathering spot, Doctor?
Yeah, I DJ. I DJ at his wedding, Wilson.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's like it looked like something out of Tyler Perry movie. It's like super nice. It's a pool. It's
$300 a month for membership. Continue.
Right. It's like amazing. So I walk in there. I'm wearing like go back to that picture. Look at what I'm wearing. All right.
Let's see this picture.
Like, you see how fly everybody else is? I don't even got on a V-neck t-shirt. Like,
is it even a V-neck? FD,
no,
it looks like a regular t-shirt.
It's regular crew neck. That's what I'm saying. And so I'm thinking this is gonna be like a steakhouse, so we just gonna kick it. Because I've kicked it with Deontay, and me and Van are cool. I hadn't met Vic, but I'm a Vic fan overall. Mm-hmm. And when all the fly cool people start coming through, I'm like, oh shit, I should have put on some better clothes and some cologne. I didn't know I was gonna be. I didn't know this was where we started. And it was all love. It was interesting. I was telling. I met with Geechee yesterday at Morehouse, and I was telling him that was maybe one of the first times where I was able to sit down, and because I sat across from Isaac Hayes Jr., who availed himself well. He kept things cool. And it was me, Van, and Deontay and Vic arguing with him about capitalism. And that was the first time I was like not alone in that argument. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, this is nice. Look at this. And it was a lot of him and hawing about, why the police need better training and stuff. But it was still, so it was overall a cool thing. And when the picture happened, I was just kind of like
surprise.
Right. Because it was I didn't want to come off adversarial, and it was a cool night, and so I just didn't think too hard about it. But when Renee called, I was like, oh, maybe I should have at the last second, so people didn't think I was already on my way out. They're gonna have to pay me a lot more. I'm gonna need more than a
Listen, when you come to Atlanta, you're gonna be in rooms with a lot of different people, and you're gonna people gonna come and take pictures. You never know. So that's just Atlanta, man.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting for now.
I do
talk about gentrification.
Bull City Vanguard had this, because I do remember this happening from Bull City Vanguard. Killer Mike did just recently say somebody has an issue with him about what they think he's about, and then a mutual person wants to broker a convo between them. Couldn't tell if he met.
That was about me.
Or FD. Okay,
I'm like, it's definitely not Jared.
I don't want to get too far. I don't want to get into the details of that right now, but that was about me. And it's so interesting how the energy is different. And that's kind of what I mean when I say when Mike felt like he could jaw at people from a high position, right? When he could call niggas broke and unimportant, you saw the energy. You've seen it for years at this point. I don't think he knew. Like unlike some of his peers, I don't think he knew who I was, and I don't think he understood that if I was to say something back significantly, that he would have to hear it. And so now all of a sudden it's let's have a conversation, et cetera, et cetera.
Like sorry, just to be clear, like a coward or like a bully. That's not behavior. I just want to be clear because we're not gonna miss words over here. That shit. So when somebody from what they perceive or is in fact a higher level or more powerful position punching down all the time, which is what the Black leadership class loves to do, that's coward behavior. That's punk behavior. You know what I'm saying? That's bully behavior. So let's call it out when we see it. Sorry, please continue your story.
No, that's I mean, and that's kind of it, again, it comes up in the video. And it's all love to all the other people involved. I want to be clear, or not people involved, the people in the peripheral. Because I never want people to feel like they have to like or dislike people off the strength of me. I never want people to feel like they can't work with, people that there's disagreements or misalignment with off the strength of me. And I understand because like one of the reasons why I can't go in on Mike the way I think others probably could or would is because Mike is genuinely fundamental to like his earlier work before this shift, that specifically the Pledge Allegiance to the Grind era. For those who don't know, like Mike started out with Outkast. Yeah, and then but with that Reagan era, that pressure era, that's life era, nobody was talking like Mike in hip hop for a minute. And like there was moments where like I can say that Mike's music helped prime me for being radicalized. Real talk. And so like I know a lot of people that's where they still see Mike.
Yeah.
And so like you have to, and that's kind of the whole point, like why it's more important for me to like weave through the thing versus like just hammer it, because when you're dealing with beloved figures and you don't have that love, you can't just break love. You have to disentangle it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of going to be the ultimate goal. Like when I made that Tyler Perry video, I know that I have aunties that die about some Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
So I can't just be like Tyler Perry's bad and you're bad. I have to be like, well, let's weave through why you love him, why he earned that, why it's no longer, why he should not have it, et cetera, et cetera.
I think Killer Mike has good intent. He's a good human and he wants better for his people, but he's stuck up in. Wait. Let me finish.
You can finish.
I believe he has good intent. It's just like he thinks that we can be free through capitalism, and now that he's put himself around this whole capitalism thing, he can't back up out of it. So, like going back to his brand thing, like you said earlier before, he's like, I'm doing this for my people. I'm giving this education through the music to my people. But this whole capitalism thing he got caught up on, and now it's like
I'm gonna leave that for the video. God willing, in a couple of weeks.
So real quick, here's something that I really and me and Air Doctor have this argument all the time. And so here's my fundamental issue with these people. Is once you decide that your bag is the most important thing, guess what's not? Black people. Yep. So this idea that like you can be like this good person who really wants the best for your people when you care only about your bag, it's an automatic cancel, right? And Jared did, I can't remember the name of Culture something he did.
Culture United.
And right. And something that he said that I thought was really important was like, it's one thing if you disagree with me on my statements about Black capitalism and you just say, I disagree, here's my point of view. But when you say that motherfucker's wrong, right? You can't listen to him. He's wrong, I'm right. Black capitalism is, now you're just an asshole, right? Like, period. Because it's okay to have your own theories on stuff. And it's okay for you to have your own beliefs on stuff. But the minute you start shitting on people who are bringing up other ideas that are based in fact at that, right? Like, you can simply say, like, Yo, I know that's all factual, but I still think this is the way to go. But when you start turning on people and you're, this is a lie, and you like, and you have the platform. So you are literally dragging your people down a hole that may work for you, but it's very clear it's not working for everybody else. So to me, there is no good intent behind that. There cannot be good intent behind that, because the minute you are solely focused, like, dude has a fake fucking bank. Like, can we just stop? Like, can we stop like pretending like there's anything about him that is beneficial for the broader Black population? It's not. He gives a shit about his money. He wants to maintain his proximity to whiteness. He wants to make sure he can get his Grammys and get his shiny shit from the white people. The dude's a fucking asshole. Period.
Right. Good people, nice people, kind people aren't bullies, aren't cowards, right? I mean, the cowardice, right, is anyway. Like, we've already established this is not a nice or good person, right? But let's put the evidence on the table that we have, right? Because I don't care about what he thinks or feels. I care about what he does, right? The actions he does in the real world that have material consequences for our people, and what he has done, in addition to everything that Renee said, right, about having the fake bank and financially, essentially scamming people, right? He also stood 10 toes down on Cop City, right? Let's not forget that, right? He also went out when people were having a legitimate, uprising, said, don't mess up my bag, like, go back home, right? And stood 10 toes down with the Blackness leadership class, the political Blackness leadership class, right, that he's united with, right? He's also, to my understanding, right, sat down and caped for all of these right-wing Republicans, right, and all of his, the big monies that he likes to hang around with, right, and all the people he can get on the phone and have a meeting with, and all this other nonsense. And for whatever, no disrespect to you, FD, right, but like, I'm not familiar with I Pledge Allegiance to the Grind, right, but just off the album cover, right, the aesthetics of it in of itself, right, it is hard for me to even engage with that as a radicalizing force, right? Because it feels like a very, pro-capitalist, pro-American, right? Even if it's like the pro-Black, capitalist American that he wants to highlight. And even still, right, like, this is all to give him legitimacy so he can then do these things, right? You can go rap and have this persona, right, and share these ideas, right, that you clearly don't live by, right? We have the actual material evidence of what your impact is. So, we can say a lot of things about him, right? But this whole nice guy stuff, like, I don't, So what evidence? What evidence? My fault.
The one thing I will engage with, when I think I'd see differently, is during that era specifically, that Pledge Allegiance to the Grind era, there was no. This is pre as the assholes are calling it, woke one, right? So there was no, and this is post Tupac. This is post Dead Prez. This is like mid 2000s, late 2000s. This is the bling era. But there was no benefit to being. That, go ahead. I'm sorry.
My fault. But right before, because I'm not hip on all the, like, because I was in high school around this time, right? So for me, it was Dead Prez. It was Mos Def, Talib Kweli, right? Beautiful Struggle came out around this time, right? Black Star, right? So if I'm remembering this correctly, there were overtly more radical Black artists, like, at exactly the same time, unless I'm getting the time.
So yes, nobody from the South though.
Like yeah, that. Yes and no. So here's what happens. So the Dead Prez is 99, right? Okay. By 2004, 2005, all of the neo soul conscious hip hop era is pretty much out there. It's gone. Lil Jon killed it. Right? Okay. And so we're going into the crunk ringtone bling era.
Big T's.
Right. Big T's, you know what I'm saying? A lot of this. Right. Like, and so like nobody is really on that. Talib and Common and them still have careers, but they're no longer really relevant, and there's nobody taking their spot. Yeah. And so when Pledge Allegiance to the Grind happens, first off, it is completely aesthetically and sonically, it's apart from what you would get from a Talib. It's closer to a Dead Prez, right? But like it sounds just like a T.I. album. It sounds like a Jeezy album. but it's Killer Mike still talking about killing niggas and slinging dope, but also fuck the black bourgeoisie, you know what I'm saying? Fuck the police. We gonna burn shit down if they keep killing us, etc. And so like, for me specifically, I started teaching in 2007. And I talk about this in the video. That's the same year Oprah opened up her school in Africa. And I'll never forget, I'm riding to like, you know, way out in Cobb County, or maybe I was at DeKalb County in Georgia, ear doctor knows. So we're talking about, in DeKalb especially, I'm at one of the poorest, most underserved schools in the probably the state. And I hear Oprah say, I didn't build a school in America because black kids don't care about nothing but iPods and Nikes. And I'm furious, right? Like, I'm like, how can she get away with saying this? And this is like, again, this is early, you know, I'm raised by, stop. You know, so I got a lot of this energy in me, but I don't have it really like developed. I just know how I feel about it. And he starts out like he has a song going at Oprah for that sentiment and all the other nonsense. And nobody had ever said anything bad about Oprah in hip hop, except for like wanting to be her boyfriend and get rich. And so like, I remember listening to that to like get me right so I could go in and teach these kids. And so that's kind of what I'm speaking to, is like, and this is, you know, this is just me. And I'm not trying to say this as obviously as a blanket defense of Mike, especially at this point in his career. But I music and art has a way of like situating people in a moment in time. And so I know for a lot of people, especially hip hop fans, especially at that moment in time when it felt like that type of energy was gone from the genre, Mike carried on a tradition that made him no money because he was independent. And that was a time when that style of music was like nothing to the industry, which is why when the White Boys came from Cartoon Network, he was very eager to flip into something different and to become like Dirty South JPEG Mafia. You know what I'm saying? So I agree, but I also like I think that context, at least for what I want to do,
because it reminds me of Chuck D a little bit for Public Enemy.
Yeah, it was very similar. It was very similar. Chuck D was that.
So this is the problem, though, right? Like, no one should still be looking at Chuck D after his ass worked for the fucking State Department and being like, oh, but back in the day, fuck that. He literally was going around the world on behalf of the State Department. Like, so this is why I don't listen to the radio. So I can't get captured by all this shit. Like this is the stuff that drives me batty. And I recognize that my disdain for it is problematic. So don't take this as a chastisement, because I understand that the way I look at this is because I'm sick of all of these people. My mother's going to be so mad when she watches this because I've been cussing a lot. Y'all got me cussing. So like, I'm sick of all of them. And so for me, this is the question that I pose often about when people get captured, right? And so how do we determine when someone gets captured? Is it before they release all the stuff that gets you thinking that they're revolutionary so that you're trapped in that mindset when they flip and turn into capitalistic assholes? Or is it after they have a captured audience based on those things that somebody's like, oh, they got a captured audience. Let's offer them enough money to get them to flip. Right. So I don't know where that line happens and when it happens for people. And this is the thing that drives me batty, because then people do exactly this. Like, oh, well, back in the day and this and before, like, Common is literally playing a crooked cop on fucking Apple TV right now.
He's playing so many cops.
Right. Like, literally, his current role right now on Apple TV is a crooked cop, and his black wife is working for the system, and they're manipulating each other. Like, what the fuck are we doing right now?
Hey, Queen Latifah, keep going.
I can't keep plugging my shit. I did a video about that though with the black cops, because black cops are overrepresented in media. And it's because that's a way to get black, especially black men on TV and have them be safe to a white audience. It's like, I can give you this, especially, explicitly masculine presenting, authoritative black men. I can give you this image of the black macho, but it's okay. He's a cop, so he's there to protect you. And white power structures. As for Renee, we talked about this. I bring this up, like, I still don't know. As I get closer to some of these rooms, it's becoming apparent to me that it's never a singular moment of the whole tap on the shoulder moment. I don't think it happens. It's more of a grooming thing. It's more of they find you early. They see what you have in you that they think they can extract, and then they slowly bring you to a point that maybe you wouldn't have went to if you weren't groomed. Like, you look at y'all mayor, governor in Baltimore, because this seems like they found him early.
Styles P looking like dude.
Styles P, yeah,
because he went to military school.
Right. So when is the moment? Like, what I'm talking about is the moment that begins, because there has to be a moment, right? So even if there is a full grooming process, right? Like little things that come at you here and there, like it grows, it changes, whatever. Like, there is a point where where they look at a person and they're like, that's the one. And then this begins. And so that, what I'm trying to figure out is, like, does that happen when Mike is still broke? And they're like, here's how we want you to work this thing. And we're going to have you go in through your music. You're going to gain like a following and all these. Evans typing. Yeah, I don't know.
Evans typing.
this motherfucker's fingers is like 8 pounds a piece.
Oh, Thanos hands. My man got the Infinity Gauntlet on the keyboard.
That's why don't nobody want to fight Evan, because he's fucking up the keyboard.
Did this motherfucker want to spar me? I'm 50. He like 30.
That sounded like a drum roll. That sounded like a rock guitar
pick. My bad.
No, it's all good. But like, so this is the thing, right? And so somebody in the chat just now was like, can you say the same thing about a YouTuber with 1 million viewers, right? And I'm assuming they're talking about UFD, right? But not for nothing, we've had this conversation. Like, I've literally said to FD, be careful with these taps. Like, be careful, right? So I want people to understand, like, as candid as I am about Killer Mike, I've had these conversations with FD. I'm not a different, and the reason FD is here is because we're able to have those conversations and he's not an asshole about it. Like, that's why he gets the text message to say, like, yo, can you come on? You want to come hang out? Whatever. Right. Or the text message that's like, what just happened here? Right. But because I can do that, right. But I'm telling y'all, the minute FD decides, like, he gonna do some wild shit because it's gonna fill his pockets, he's gonna get a cuss out and then he's never coming back. So
y'all holding you accountable.
I keep that in mind. Like, and that's, so it's a couple. So I agree and disagree with some of your framing, only because I remember. So when I first started, right, and like I remembered, I told this story. Like, I was like, they're trying to Van Jones me, right, and once I think I stood against that, the whole stop.
My bad. Continue.
Once I think I stood, I withstood that is when most of my trajectory changed. There's still, like, if you think about it, and this is no shade to any of my peers or anybody that would take offense to this. The fact that I have 1 million subscribers, like, I ain't never been on the Breakfast Club. I ain't never been on the Joe Budden podcast. I've barely ever done any platform bigger than mine, right? At any point in my career, I've always been, usually I'm coming through as the person with the bigger platform to show love and to chill, whatever. And so, like, I've never had any cosigns by nobody. To get to the point I'm at without any cosigns, the calls I get are from people saying, "How did you do that?" I've had Hollywood people call and say, "Yo, how did you do that on YouTube without us? We want you to teach us and tell us how we can bottle that and give it to other people." And I'm like, "Look, I don't know what you're talking about." And so when I get to a Mike, right, I think that pledge, and again, I've been doing this research for this video. When you go and you look at Mike, there's a sincerity around his beliefs. There's probably still some fuckery in his behavior that explains how he gets to this point. But the sincerity around his beliefs, I don't think there was a singular moment where that changed. I think as opportunity structures present themselves, individuals take the opportunities that show their true moral fiber. And so when you have there's this guy I cannot stand. Oh my God. In fact, I'm gonna just air him out. What's this little motherfucking name? He called himself a Barack Obama liberal. He do a lot of these Jubilee debate moments. I cannot stand this nigga.
Do you think that they just get in the room and realize, you know what, I can't beat the system?
No, I don't think I think just like you said earlier, I think Mike thinks he's beating the system. This guy I'm talking about, somebody said, y'all know I'm talking about. He got glasses, he got a little bit of a lisp, he got a football player head. He's from Texas. And he does a lot of Isaiah, what's his name?
I don't know who any of these people are.
I have no idea.
Isaiah Martin?
That's Isaiah Martin. Oh my God. Like, so Isaiah Martin is a perfect example of this, right? Or another one is he's trying to do a rebrand is Poetic Flacco, right? So these are folks that what they find first, Renee, is the talent. They find that they see that you have talent, you have a way, you have something that they know is going to be extractable. And you might be underdeveloped or a blank state, or maybe you have some inclinations, but they're going to find the talent in you first. And then once they find the talent, it's not an initial decision. It's hey, you like this, we want to do this. Come do it with us. And then the next stage is, hey, you did this with us this time, do this new thing with us now. And then next thing you know, you're, this Isaiah Martin guy or Poetic Flacco. Poetic Flacco was doing podcasts with Adam 22 and all these right-wing conservative talking points, calling people pink, big lip, such and such is in his content. And so it's never a singular moment. It's a network. And when I was researching for the Owens video, and they were talking about AIPAC, and it's like, well, how is AIPAC, buying all these politicians? But I was reading, I can't remember what it was. One of these joints I was reading, it was like, they don't really buy the politicians. They find them early and then they fund them through their careers so that they're only at the position they are in because they've been taking that money and eating off that plate before they were of any significance. So it's never a switch up. The switch up happens before you even see them. And so then you're just waiting for the activation. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. So, but this brings me back to my question, right? When does a Killer Mike get found? Is it when he's selling? Was he somebody who was selling albums out of his trunk, like they used to do in New York
it's
City?
So early. I think it's
right?
so
is it found? Is he found then? And then this continues until he gets big enough that they can say, okay, now's when we gotta flip him. So
in that case, you are dead to rights. During that Pledge Allegiance to the Grind era, he was your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how him and Charlemagne got close, because Charlemagne was one of the few people shouting out Mike when nobody was talking about him because of that era. He had like top songs of the year songs, but no sales or money. And so people find that and they say, okay, you are all of this without us, right? Without the machine, look what you've done for yourself. What if we added you to the machine? And you join the machine, not thinking that the machine is there to corrupt you or to extract from you or to transmute you into something that you're not. But it slowly happens because then he does the whole banking stuff starts after Mike Brown, if I'm not mistaken. And he does hashtag Bank Black, and that comes out of, the Booker T, ideology, and who we talked about him earlier. Somebody said him earlier. The guy he is in business with, Andrew Young School.
Andrew Young, yeah.
Right? And so in his head, these are legends. Booker T. Washington, Andrew Young, Tulsa, Greenwood, et cetera. So yeah, let's bank black and let's do all these things for black people because this is good. He doesn't know. And at that point, if there's not an intervention, if there's not literally a radical intervention, then he gets encalcified in that moment. And from there, it's a pretty clear straight line.
But hold on. Okay, well, so I do agree that this happens incredibly early, right? And I think it happens incredibly early across various different tracks, right? Like Renee and I were had a couple conversations over the weekend, right? For education, for non-artists, right? For educational professional track, this happens very early. This happens in scholarships, in like these awards, right? There's an award I got in high school, like a DEI related award, where I have this little picture with Barack Obama when he was a senator who gave me the award, right? So those I think it's correct, right? Those invitations, those, hey, good job, pat on the shoulder, keep on this career. Like that stuff happens very, very early. For me, as early as middle school or high school. But for them in the music industry, this is what A&Rs are for, right? Like this is the entire point of like that business, like of that role, right? To go out and find new talent, right? So I have no doubt that in this era, right, Killer Mike, is doing these shows, and you have an A&R from these large labels that are going to his shows, right? Or that hear little white kids, most likely, listening to his music and like, oh, okay, like this, or hear, it's spoken about on what have you, Breakfast Club, right? And say, like, okay, this somebody's making a mix. We need to, start to kind of reach out, right? And like build that relationship over time. So it makes perfect sense that this happens very early, right? And I think to Renee's point, I think what I hear Renee trying to get at, right? And what I'm also interested in is like, at what point can we discern that there are decisions made by the individual to like accept the bribe or to knowingly accept this thing that is countervailing against, right, whatever values or morals or commitment to communities that they had beforehand, right? Because at this moment they're talking about for the bank, FD, he knows it's not a black bank at that moment. Do you see what I'm saying? He knows,
right?
He knows exactly what he's doing.
He knows, and just sorry, Evan, don't forget what you're saying. I just want to quickly say, like, it was in 2020, 2021 that this started after the murder of George Floyd, right, not after Mike Brown. Thank you. Which to me is even more insidious. So I want to make sure that that's clear. But sorry, Evan, I just wanted to.
No. It's a perfect point. It is more insidious, right? So at this moment, right, where he has an opportunity, right, an opportunity to speak out, to be with the people, to be with the uprisings, or an opportunity to solidify his brand, to make more money, right, to elevate his profile, he chooses the latter. And at that moment, he knows it's not a black bank. He knows he is making deals with white banks and he's building an app. He knows that at that moment of inception, right, that moment of like having the idea. So everything after that, where he's talking about a black bank, we know that that's a lie, right? So I think at least, I mean, like there are these moments that become clear that this person does not have the community's best interest in heart, and it just becomes so obvious, right? And we don't have to know what he was thinking or feeling. We can go by what his actions are and what the evidence is. You said you were doing a black bank. We know that is not a black bank. You must have known that from the jump.
Right.
Like
so, the way I think it happens is they convince themselves that it's still okay. Because I don't think this is just my personal perception. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of these people, the most dangerous ones in particular, are the ones that are true believers in what they're doing, and that their decisions that harm Black people or are deceptive to the community or are exploitative, in their heads, it's okay because X, Y, and Z other thing I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? Or X, Y, and Z thing I did before, and this is just me recouping, like some type of internal mechanisms allows them to believe it to be real. And when confronted with the contradiction, a lot of times they'll not allow themselves to be confronted, right? Which is why with Mike in particular, certain conversations have never happened. But when confronted, they usually just get quiet or say this is, for the greater good because illogic here. And once that logic meets its natural end, the conversation gets shut off. And that's why, because I know like it's not just me that's had communication with some of these folks. I know people in Black Liberation Media that have had communication with some of these folks and have told them outright what you're doing is wrong. Here's why. Here's the historical record on why. Here's what you should be doing, etc. And it's like, So I just demystifying it all. These motherfuckers don't care. They just they don't care enough about the people to disengage from the behavior they're exhibiting. And they've been convinced enough over time and been rewarded enough over time for those behaviors. And they have some people, some Black people specifically, that will swear by what they're doing. And so they'll focus on the people that swear that they're also helping, and not the people that are critiquing and showing the opposite of what's happening. I know people that got business loans from Greenwood, right? So they'll be like, and so Michael say, yeah, you say it's a fake bank. Yeah, true. But look, I gave this Black capitalist here some startup money to, start a store or a restaurant or a shoe deal. And they'll reconcile themselves based off that.
And this is why these conversations have to happen, right? Because when people get a loan through that app, it is not from Greenwood Bank, because Greenwood Bank is not a fucking thing. It does not exist as an actual institution. They're getting a loan from whatever that coastal bank is in North Carolina. Right. And that is the bank, right, behind the app that is Greenwood. And so, but this is where, and you're right, like this is where the problem comes in, because people will say, no, I got a loan. It's definitely a bank. And they don't even understand that that's not where they got the money from. Right. And so, and in fact, not only did they not get the money from a blank bank, they got the money from a white bank.
The whole thing is counterfactual.
Right? It's all like totally like, so all these conversations are so fascinating to me. And I have trapped FD on the phone because I really am enthralled. And I think it happens across the spectrum, right? Like Charlie Kirk, for whatever reason, they spotted him before he got pulled aside in that hallway when he was in the community college.
He was 17 years old.
Right. And they were like, just drop out of school. I got you. He was picked for a reason. Yeah. Right. So this is not just like, Black rappers and it's not just Evan who ends up at Cal Berkeley. Like, there is a process that is happening to keep us all trapped within the boundaries of a capitalist system that does not allow any of us to survive.
Yeah.
And it's all done with this. It's an entire infrastructure.
Almost all of these Black conservatives come out of the, I was about to sound smart and I can't remember the name of the think tank. Think I'm talking about. Like the new light skinned dude is from the same think tank as a lot of these other cats.
I know.
Yeah, but they find them early. They find them like you're an undergrad. You need a scholarship. You seem kind of conservative. You seem kind of well spoken. We need a new coon on the roster. Hey, come through to the Heritage Foundation. I think that's what I'm thinking. And shout out to the one book that I think is really good at engaging this. It was Too Black and I always fuck up the other dude's name.
Rasul
Mawad with Laundering Black Rage. That first chapter, where it talks about how we had all this radical revolutionary energy during Black Lives Matter, and they found a way to turn that into murals, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. You put enough people in a room, you get enough, diffusion of the energy, and you give enough people resources. And next thing you know, we have murals and the police budgets are going up, know? And so
you got me thinking about Death Certificate, Ice Cube. Like when he put that album, he's like most revolutionary rapper ever. And then
give him a little money.
So I do question. Yeah, now So I think we've clarified. I think we've made the case quite succinctly and clearly, right? That Killer Mike at this point is no longer a legitimately, is a consciously adversarial actor to our communities and to our interests, right? So given that this little thing that he did, right, about like being willing to have conversations, I interpreted that, and I think I was listening to Jared and maybe Geechee and Diallo talk about this, right? But like, I thought he was talking about people to his right, because he's very okay talking to people to his right, where he can be positioned as like the leftmost radical person in the conversation, right? But FD, you're saying that, and I want to be clear, I don't think he's talking about Jared, right? But FD, think he's talking about
now because I'm sorry.
You got to get in trouble.
No, that just. I think now because there is a storm coming is why he wants to get ahead of it. So, like up until this point, it was made very clear that he had no interest in talking to people to his left, even people that weren't even to his left as, even people that weren't even that much to his left, right behind the scenes. And so, but because when that freestyle dropped, the one from a month ago now, and Twitterverse and the hip hop, blogosphere started talking about what it was, I think that he was like, oh snap, I didn't even know it was like that out here. I didn't know it was hot on this particular side of the aisle. Right. And so now you just pointed out Mike's brand is he positions himself as the most radical figure that you can talk to in mainstream media.
Right.
And so if it just so happens that someone nominally more radical than him can call him out and illustrate all the ways in which that is false, that's an existential threat to his brand. And
For
so
sure.
Now,
For sure.
So,
but
so now he's willing to.
FD. I just want to clarify to get to the point. Why do you think he wants to talk to you and not Jared? In his mind, why do you think he thinks y'all are different? Or like that's what I'm trying to get to.
We're different in terms of platform size and threat. So if he talks to Jared, right, he should have talked to Jared. Like a lot of this would have been saved low key. He could have talked to Jared on stream. Jared could have reamed him out about all the ways he's wrong, and he could have ignored him and then said, "At least I talked to him," and then went on about his business, and probably wouldn't have been nothing. But avoiding that smoke, that's ego, right? And so now talking to me, the hope is I could be pulled further in. The hope is that I can moderate enough so that whatever I have to say is softened and it becomes less of a threat to him. That is my personal perspective, is that he recognizes that I am close enough to this area and I am known well enough in that general circle, even though nobody's ever sought to connect with me for real, that it's basically like, okay, we see what you're doing. You want to, all right, we get it. Instead of fighting us, why don't you join us? Let's start a program together. You know what I'm saying? Let's start let's go into business together. It's an invitation, is what it is.
I agree. I just wanted to get to that because I think that's what it is.
And that's why my thumbs be going. Just so y'all know.
They got a number for you, FD. They got a number for you.
They got a number for and that's why it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what happens afterward. Like it'd be interesting to see what happens afterward because he broke quarantine is really what it comes down to. Right. Like they were not supposed. Nobody in that particular community was supposed to bring this much attention to the space that I am related to. That's why he would sneak. Like he talked about Dr. Ball. He mentioned Dr. Ball one time by name in like 2021, right after their conversation, and it was mostly friendly. But every time after that, it was sneak disses and disrespect, and that was because he knew he could do it and get away with it. And so now that it can't be sneak disses, now that somebody is able to like illustrate the whole thing to a large audience, they have to readjust their strategy. So.
Yo, FD,
y'all know if I disappear and I come back in a Bugatti, y'all know. Look, hey,
yay!
The number was really big. Y'all.
FD, you need to recruit a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So
I've had rappers reach out.
Yo, we ain't even get to this story yet, But
oh yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Just FD, just to set your energy, bring up a comment from your biggest fan, Deculturation. The hope is that you treat him gently like the white rad libs.
Oh, Deculturation.
I would hope that you don't.
I love you too, Carlos. I love you too, Carlos.
I hope you go harder on all of them, FD. I hope that's what happens.
I'm not a go hard type. I think that's the one thing that has allowed me to get as far as I have. Is I'm not a go hard. My most truest self is the teacher that dealt with the baddest kids in the gentlest way. Renee, you're a teacher, right? Renee, didn't you do education at some point?
I was a school counselor, but I was the walk into class and slap you on the back of your head if you're falling asleep in school.
Okay.
So
we were the opposite. So the bad kids would come to me before Renee.
but they came to me because they knew I would do that, right?
Exactly. I feel like bad kids respect that teacher, that adult.
It takes all types.
It does.
It takes all types. And I also knew which kids to do that with, right?
That's
like, right. You know the kids that you can get away with that. You know the kids that you have to go in and like tap them instead. Like 20 years in education, I worked with thousands of kids, right? And so it's a whole different thing. And I know, look, your doctor's about to start sweating because we got like 2 minutes left. But but for me, I think people really have to understand also with FD, and this is something that, again, like I've never had any qualms saying, when people are living in part off of your content creation, right? Like, it's a different category, right? Like, it's a whole different, like, I don't understand that world, right? Like, I am not living off of what comes to me from Black Liberation Media, right? As much as I appreciate it. And while we at it, we ain't getting no chats or nothing today. We brought y'all a good conversation. But anyway,
dang,
we're not, no one's living off of this. And we're a member collective. So everybody is making a little bit to try and at least give you something back for your time and energy. So it's very hard for me to chastise somebody who's trying to live, right? Like, we live in a system where you have to make your choices about how you're going to manage this road that capitalism has put you on. And so, I said it already and I'll say it again. What I appreciate, FD, about you is you are willing to have the conversation. And as long as you remain willing to be open to me texting you, like, what the fuck did you just do?
And don't
like, we good. We good.
Yeah. I don't think I'd have gotten as far as I have if I were more acerbic about my critiques. You know what I'm saying? My critiques are usually grounded in why are you bad, not you are bad. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that's more, and I also think that's something a lot of people can't do, which makes it novel at the same time. And also means I got to make longer videos, which is good for the algorithm. So it's win-win-win.
Well, we'll definitely hold you accountable here on Black Liberation Media, as you hold us accountable also. Big up to Dork, sending in $5. FD put me on the Black Liberation Media back when it was Black Power Media and Poppy. Truly foundational. Thank you very much. Thank you. There we go. Another $2. Come on, Renee. Talk that shit. Big up to Racine sending in $20.
They put out the bat signal and everybody
right. Nobody wants to pay.
Shit, I should have did it sooner.
It usually happens. I think I'm getting too well liked here. Because what needs to happen is that I need to come in, say something people disagree with, and they pay to make sure a mean comment is read directly to my face. That's how it works on Culture United.
$10. Yo, Jack, $10. Took me a long time to warm up to FD. I was a huge Hamilton fan, and so were all my friends. And a Bo Burden fan. I'm going through this metamorphosis.
Yo, and this is why we have those conversations, for people to go through that, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Big up to everybody showing love and keeping us here, with our $5, $10. We're gonna make it, y'all. And we're gonna keep each other accountable. So if I don't know what your time look like. I don't know what none of y'all time look like.
I got to jump into other things, but we go to. I planned to be here till at least 10:30.
Oh, okay.
So
well, we could. So I guess we could talk a little bit about this Keefe D, Tupac. I don't know if y'all been following the story, but he just got charged.
I've been following it enough to know that they decided to file press charges and actually go to court over a years-long issue that nobody actually cared about. But not nobody.
30 years, ain't it?
Not nobody in the community. I mean, nobody in the legal system actually cared about. That's and cool. So, yeah, it's wild. But yeah, let's get into it.
You can do it. I can hang for a little bit.
So I'm so suspicious of this. This feels like it came out of nowhere. I remember from the Diddy doc. Was he in the Diddy doc? Was that like part of what was exposed during the Diddy doc for on Netflix?
I don't remember that part. If he was in the Diddy, God.
I don't know. Does the chat know? Was he in the Diddy doc? I don't remember. He might, maybe. I don't remember.
It just feels scary. It's like why y'all? When did y'all even arrest this dude? When did he go on trial? Why didn't I hear about this at all from anybody? And now all of a sudden he's guilty. Is this mean Tupac's coming back? Like, is that what's about to happen?
He been in Cuba.
Is he on a flight from Cuba as we speak? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so weird. Zensabel said he was in the Diddy doc. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense actually.
Now, okay.
That does make a lot more sense now. Sense. Okay.
Damn.
Pull up this story.
50 dropping dimes on niggas. Find out.
Let me pull up this story. All right, this is the one I have. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis convicted of first-degree murder and orchestrating 1996 killing of rap icon Tupac Shakur. Jury deliberated for 3 hours after a weeks-long trial in Las Vegas. He was found guilty of orchestrating 1996 killing of rap icon Tupac Shakur. Tupac Shakur marking the first conviction in a case that has gripped hip-hop fans for decades. The 63-year-old Davis was convicted on Monday, August 31st of murder with the use of a deadly weapon and could be sentenced to life in prison. The jury deliberated for 3 hours after a weeks-long trial in Vegas. After the verdict was read, Shakur's sister, Sekiwa Set Shakur, cried and reached back to a person behind her. Also in the courtroom was Davis' son, who covered his face with one hand. Chief Deputy Attorney Benu Palal told jurors in closing arguments that Davis acquired a gun and went hunting, quote, went hunting for Shakur and Death Row Records co-founder Marion Suge Knight after they beat up Davis's nephew earlier that night.
So, but isn't his role in the Diddy doc is implied that Diddy is the one that?
That's what I remember. That's what I remember.
So is this a way to circle back to Diddy after he got off on all his sex criminal charges? Well, not all of them, but he didn't get much of anything.
Well, it's saying I'm confused because it's saying he orchestrated and then it's saying he did it. So it's also confusing to me the way this is written.
There's another shoe dropping here, and I don't like it.
Prosecutor said that while his story changed over the years, Davis repeatedly placed himself inside a white Cadillac from which the shots were fired. So we're talking about. I heard this talked about on BLM because his story kept changing, but apparently every time he was in the white Cadillac. And they said that while he did not pull the trigger, evidence showed he'd called for the gunfire as a powerful gang leader to younger men in the car, including his nephew, were going to listen.
Oh, the Bull City Vanguard. Put that comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is the way there's all the LAPD and the feds.
Yes.
I mean, there is so much behind like how all of these things went down and the whole East Coast versus West Coast and the murder also of Biggie. So they're all and this is when I did listen to the radio, just so people know, like I actually paid attention to this stuff, right? But I always get nervous. I agree with you, FD. I always get nervous when suddenly like somebody who seemed very much on the periphery of something becomes like the central focus of that thing.
Yeah.
Right? So like where is this coming from? And so Zen had an all cat. I can't put your comment up Judge Bell, because it might get us in trouble because it doesn't say alleged. You got to say alleged. And so I feel like all of these people are part of the problem, but it leads us actually fast forward to people like Killer Mike. Like, you have all these people who are engaged in this wild shit, right? And none of it is going to result in the liberation of our people, but it's going to result in people like, oh, look, he did it and this and that and all. Like, we cooked.
So they got somebody to blame.
We're not cooked. We're not cooked. We can't.
No, I know. I'm just joking.
We're cooking.
I'm just joking. I practice psychic militancy. I say that in jest.
So Keefe D was like Young Thug. He was the one calling the shots. That's what they're saying.
I guess I mean, this may be my making this shit up from like undergrad or something, but I had it in my head that the community took care of Tupac's killer years ago. Like, that's what I had gotten. I felt like I had gotten that, and I don't know. We need somebody from the area to kind of confirm that, but I had it in my head that they had handled that, because certain things low key get handled in community, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, or maybe I'm thinking about Biggie Killer. So maybe that's.
I feel like there was something even in listening to these stories or related coverage where somebody was interviewed and did not want to give more info because of exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
because of implying what you were saying, that they were gonna.
Yeah, that it was handled like remember the Migos, the one Migo that got killed a couple of years
Offset?
ago.
No, not Offset.
Takeoff. And what's the Houston thug rapper executive name?
Prince
Little.
Paul.
Prince shit.
God damn.
While y'all thinking about that, I do want to bring this because I do
Jay Prince.
Because I've like this kind of stuff does circulate in the community about the community taking care of things and blah 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 blah, right? But to the real perspective too, community didn't take care of Zimmerman. Community ain't do a damn thing, right? Like I do want to. I'm sorry. I just want to highlight the need, like, this organization is how we respond to all of this. I'll say that, right? So like this idea that things are going to get taken care of, or they're like these, kind of innuendo and all this other stuff. If we want to defend ourselves, like actually, we need to do it as an organized body. And I will leave it there. But I think the point that this person is raising, right, is that Zimmerman, like many of the people who abuse and violate our community or murder our people, go on to live, fine life, or maybe not Zimmerman, but like go on unaccosted, right? Over the course of their lives, right? Many of the people who've done the worst to our people, many of the individuals who've done the worst to our people die old, in their beds, and comfortable. Like, I just want to be clear about that. So like, there might be these like on a very small scale, right? The community handles it, right? But if we want to say that we're trying to deal with the people who are actually victimizing our communities, we need to be organized, far more organized than we are now to do anything about it.
Yeah, I think that's where I was going, is that like Zimmerman's not in our community. It's easier to like, you can accountability requires community. Mm-hmm. And so like, you can't be held accountable to a community you're not a part of. You can be attacked. And so like, there's a conversation there you can be, ran up on. But in general, if you have to engage with accountability within community, you have to be within community. So going back to the Jay Prince stuff, I don't know the full story, but I know there was never, as far as I know, there's never an arrest made. And there was talks, that you would hear, in the barbershop and in the blogs and whatnot about who did it and what happened, et cetera, et cetera. Versus Zimmerman immediately went into hiding. And I don't like, he just pops out every 6 months getting arrested or something.
Popped up to sell that gun.
Right. So what?
Zimmerman sold the gun that he murdered that child with.
Crazy.
And I think for a large sum. Last thing I heard is he was living homeless or whatever. So, good luck to him. But he popped up for things like that, right? To like, and to go to like these meet and greets and sign, stuff for people. that were enamored with him as this cult figure, right? As these barbarians do.
Just responding to Bull, street justice, like if you're not in the streets of the community, it can't happen. If I'm here in Atlanta and I move to Johns Creek, can't nobody on the west side of Atlanta give me no street justice if I'm not on the streets of the west side of Atlanta. It's kind of my point. So that's what I mean when I say, like, even street justice requires community, because the people in the streets have to know where you are and where you're headed and who your people are and where you can go if you need to hide somewhere. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. If not, I don't want to go.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah. Well, listen, y'all. Great show. I had a good time. I didn't know what else y'all wanted to. Y'all had any other stories?
I'm just glad that all of a sudden Air Doctor was cool with going over and going past 10 o'clock. Like,
I mean, I don't have anything I have to do right now, so usually I do.
I did have other stories that I actually have prepared for, but they are downers.
Oh no,
let's not do no.
Like there's more stuff.
I'm good.
We can leave that for later in the week.
We could leave on a high note of realizing that people get in certain positions and they don't want to fuck their brand up, and they got to keep going with the storyline, or else it's not going to be a good look for them. And also they got to find somebody to pin some shit on so they don't look bad. Is that pretty much it?
And when FD has this conversation with Killer Mike, he's gonna maybe not go hard, but he's gonna hold the line. Right?
Oh, definitely. I'm more than holding the line, but I'm not. It's just not going. It's just going to feel. I'm the king of nice reads. I'm a king of nice reads. That is my goal. My goal is to always make you wonder if I hate the person I'm talking about. Because people said the Tyler Perry video was a pro Tyler Perry video. I'm like, good, yeah. If you didn't quite catch everything, then that means I did a good job.
No doubt. Well, thank you for taking your time out to come on through. You got an open invitation to come on out. Yeah, because I seen somebody come in the room. It was like mom came in the room, was like, you ain't cleaning this shit up yet. And then she's like, oh, you ain't go. And then she called you. I heard the phone. It's like, yo, man, you got to get that room straight. But nah, man, thank you for coming through. And like I said, you got an open invitation to come through anytime. Anything you want to let us know we should be checking out for before you get out here?
I'm just fucking around on streams and stuff. I ain't doing nothing important until this drop, and I'm praying that it happens in a timely fashion before it stops being relevant. So God willing, the 21st is the goal.
All right, we will be waiting for that. Evan, what you got coming up? Anything?
Nothing this week. We'll do PACA ASPE next week, so I'll share more about it next week. But
all right, yes. Renee, what you got coming up this Saturday?
So look, because he got going in the chat, I remembered that I needed to hit up Carlos to come back for Saturdays. And so Deculturation, like I literally just now on my phone set it up. So Deculturation is gonna be on Saturday. We just got it set.
yo, maybe if we can work it out, me and Deculturation can come down to Atlanta, since I know he trains too, and we can train with Ear Doctor.
And y'all could both beat up Ear Doctor?
That's please.
I didn't say that. I said train with.
First of all, you got to make a call so I could allow y'all to come in my.
You got to check in.
You got to check in.
You got Killer Mike standing outside your house.
Hey, you never know, man.
You got the boys off Cleveland Avenue.
You already know it. You know I run with Andrew Young and all them too. Stop playing.
Right. That means it had the YSL.
I got the Black Bougie to the trap. I know everybody. Yo, but that's what it is. Thank y'all for tuning in to another Remix Morning Show. Actually, Thursday for Classical Breakdown, I'll be doing a classical mix of New York R&B classical songs. So come through for that. Did I say that right? 11 o'clock, be there. All right, with that said, I'm Ear Doctor. That's Evan. That's Renee Johnson. That's FD Signified. It's the Remix Morning Show. Y'all have a great one and organize so we can rise. Peace. Black Liberation Media is a collective of Black and African organizers, journalists, academics, and media personalities serving Black and African masses seeking to further grow in their understanding of themselves, their histories, and the African world through entertainment and news. Please continue to like, subscribe, and donate to the channel so we can further serve you and liberate our people. You can also go to blkliberationmedia.org, get some merchandise, and also become a Patreon member. and a member from the YouTube. Please do what you can, share, and show your love as we will show ours for you. Black Liberation Media.